Hi children, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to see the next chapter from our English textbook, that is lesson 11. Okay, in the last class we have discussed all the grammar chapters. We have completed the grammar portions. Now we will see the next chapter from our English textbook, lesson 11. Before moving to the chapter, we will see the last day's homework answers. It is from our grammar textbook, children. All the means prepositions we have learned, all the answers you have to correct, means you have to do it alone and later see this and correct the mistakes. All the answer keys are given there, and here in the edit the passage means in the bracket I had given the answers, means correct answers are given in the bracket. While you are doing, just you keep underline and do the correct one. Then complete the sentences given there. Definite article a and the, both that work is there, so do it. So in the passage also you have to see the underlined articles and correct the mistakes. Then see children, the next lesson is lesson 11, Marie Curie. We are going to learn about one of the greatest personality or the scientist, Marie Curie. Lesson 11, page number 163. You have to take your textbook. It's a small chapter about her life and her achievements. Okay, so see the textbook. Marie Curie was born on 7 November 1867 in Warsaw, Poland. Mary was born as Maria Salomia Sklodowska. She was called Mania by her family members. Both her parents were teachers who instilled a love for science in her. Mary was a clever and hardworking student. She did very well in school. So in the beginning of the chapter, the introduction is about her family. She was born on 7th November 1867 and in Warsaw, Poland, her birthplace. And she was born as her name was Maria Salomia Sklodowska. Maria Salomia Sklodowska. It was her name. Later she was called as Mania by her family members, like pet name like that. Mania was her name. Then both her parents, her father and mother, both were teachers who instilled a love for science in her. So they gradually made her to love science, because they maybe were science teachers, so they supported her to learn or more focus on science. Then Mary was a clever and hardworking student. She was very intelligent, and very clever means very quick to understand. She was very intelligent and brilliant in her studies. She did very well in school. During the school days, she was very brilliant and intelligent. She was learning very well. It was the time when Poland was a part of the Russian Empire. Then during that time, even she is belonging to Poland, and they were taking part of Russian Empire. They were taking this particular place. Maria's family was in favor of Poland to be an independent country. So her family and all the members belonging to her family, they were in favor of Poland, means that is the birthplace of them. Then Maria's family was in favor of Poland to independent country. This led to her father being fired by his Russian supervisors. So her father got attacked by Russian supervisors and he killed. When Maria was 10, her oldest sister died of typhus. So when she got the age of 10, her elder sister died out of the disease typhus, like a fever. 2 years later, her mother died of tuberculosis. Again, after 2 years later, means first her father shot out by the Russian Empire. Later her elder sister got the fever and she also died. Then later her mother also died of tuberculosis, the disease. It was a difficult time for Mary. So all the family members, means father, mother, even an older sister also died. Being good at her studies, Maria wanted to continue her education. But a young woman in Poland did not go to universities during that time. So it was a worst time. So there were not such an opportunity to get education for girl children. So it was a tough time for her. But even she was very interested to study more. Then the universities were only for men. So all the universities they are only for men, not for women. Her sister Bronia was faced with the same problem. So she was having one younger sister. She was also intelligent and brilliant, and she also faced the same problem, that they didn't get any opportunity to go to school. But Maria was headstrong. Headstrong means she was dedicated or determined in the face of difficulties. So even in such a difficulties she is facing, even she was very courageous and determined. She decided to work as a tutor to support her sister complete her education. This allowed Bronia to go to France and study medicine in Paris. So because of the hard work by our Mary, her sister, she got education, means she worked as a tutor. By teaching the children, she will be earning money, and with that money she sent the younger sister to more study for the studies, and she went to France to medicine in Paris. She went to France to study the medicine, her sister. For the next few years, Mary worked to earn money for herself and Bronia. So next few years afterwards, later she also decided, means I also want to get something, to achieve something in my life, and also my sister also want to get such a position. So she worked very hard to get education to both. In the evenings she read chemistry, physics and mathematics textbooks. So when she is getting free time, she was very interested in reading all these science subjects, chemistry, physics, even mathematics also. In November 1891, at the age of 24, Mary joined Bronia in Paris. So along with Bronia, she also went to Paris for the further studies. There she studied chemistry, mathematics, physics at the University of Paris. So there she got the higher education. She got education, studied chemistry, mathematics and physics, her favorite subject, in the university. She also met Pierre Curie during this time, maybe the classmate or somebody. They got married and had their first daughter named Irene. So they got married. So Mary's husband's name is Pierre Curie, and their one daughter, they have got born one daughter. Her name is Irene. Both Mary and Pierre Curie were completely dedicated to their work. So he was also interested in science subjects. So they both were working very hard to achieve a particular aim. At first they worked on different projects. Mary was fascinated by the work of Henri Becquerel, a French physicist. So next character is Henri Becquerel. He was a French physicist and who discovered that uranium projected rays. That uranium projected rays means, you know, X-rays in the hospital. So their particular ray will be there to see the inside or inside organs of our body. So that was the experiment she was also focused on this particular experiment. So she got fascinated or very interested in the experiment by Henri Becquerel, the French physicist. So she also joined with him. Mary started conducting her own experiments on uranium rays. So she studied well and she was focusing on science subjects, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and she started research on uranium rays, means our X-ray. Okay. Later she decided to find her elements that had the same properties. In 1898 she came up with the term radioactivity to describe materials that had this property. Pierre was so interested in Mary's research, so she researched well and she found something, means for a scientist where they will make experiments, innovations, and they will get particular result. So here also she researched on the topic of uranium rays, and she found that there are some other properties in it that is termed as radioactivity. Then Pierre was also supported to her, interested in her research, and he assisted her. Together they discovered a new radioactive element in 1898, which was called polonium. So polonium, they found polonium the next as a result of the research with the help of Pierre. By the end of that year, they discovered a second radioactive element that is called radium. So it is the final innovation they have found. After finding radioactivity, they found polonium, later came to radium. So means the basic element behind the X-ray, that is the uranium rays, later they formed it into radium. In June 1903, Mary along with her husband Henry Becquerel were awarded the Nobel Prize for their contribution to the field of physics. So they got the Nobel Prize for this particular innovation. She added another feather to her cap when she won Nobel Prize again in chemistry for discovering two new elements, polonium and radium. So she was the only person behind finding out. She worked very hard, learned well all the day, night, and even she found polonium and radium. Then Mary's discovery was very useful during World War I when doctors started using X-rays to determine internal injuries of the soldiers. So her innovation made into new machine, that is X-ray machines, to find out the internal injuries of soldiers, because it was the time of World War I. So many will be getting injuries. But X-ray machines were scarce. Scarce means not sufficient, only 1 or 2 or 3 pieces only there. Mary then came up with the idea of moving X-ray machines from one hospital to another hospital in a truck. So she found one solution for that, means wherever the wounded soldiers are there, she take a leading role to take the machine from one hospital to another hospital to treat the patients. Then, so that more people could receive help, the truck came to be known as Little Curies. This truck means the truck they are having or carrying the particular X-ray machines. It is known as Little Curies and helped thousands of soldiers during the war. She also founded the Curie Institute in Paris, which is a major cancer research center. Again, she was such a dedicated personality, and one institute she formed a cancer research center. Then finally, Marie Curie breathed her last in 1934, means she died after a long and fulfilling career. So she fulfilled, means because of her dedication, hard work, she fulfilled a lot. Her life is an example of what hard work can accomplish. So her life is the best example for, means if you are working hard, we will get the success, or whatever our aim, focus. If you are working hard, then only we can accomplish that particular aim with the success. However, it was a difficult journey for her. As she herself said, I have frequently been questioned how I could reconcile family life with the scientific career. Well, it has not been easy. So how could, means for her family it was a terrific life in her family. Even she cannot believe that how she overcome that problem, and how she adjusted or retained the science also in her life. Then she is giving us a message that the best achievements in life are certainly not easy. So if you want to get achievements in your life, it won't be very easy. That's about the chapter, children. So you have to read the chapter well, and I will give you the few word meanings. So this is the personality Marie Curie. The word meanings, just you see. Instilled means gradually established, means the parents instilled her the science subject in her. Clever, intelligent, headstrong, determined, fascinated, very interested. Assist, helped, scarce, insufficient, accomplish, achieve successfully, reconcile, restore. Okay, these are the new words, and even more words are there in your textbook. That's meaning is given in the textbook itself. While you are reading the chapter, you have to focus on the word meaning. Okay, and your homework is read the chapter well, means you have to read 3 or more times. Okay, more times, children, you have to compulsory read the chapter, and you have to learn the word meaning also. Okay, in the next class we will see the question answers. Thank you.